The left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers, which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
яблони и груши, поплыли туманы над рекой. Выходила на берег Катюша, на высокий берег над крутой. Выходила, песню заводила про степного сизого орла, про того, которого любила, про того, чьи письма берегла. Ой, ты песня, песенка девичья, ты лети за ясным солнцем вслед, и бойцу на дальнем пограничье от Катюши передай привет. Пусть он вспомнит девушку простую и услышит, как она поет. Пусть он землю бережет родную, а любовь Катюша сбережет. Пусть он землю бережет родную, а любовь Катюша сбережет. Расцветали яблони и груши, поплыли туманы над рекой. Выходила на берег Катюша, на высокий берег над крутой. Выходила на берег Катюша, на высокий берег над крутой.
American things that do not exist in Russia. Part 5. Black people. Well, they do, but it is mostly in the big cities, it is rarity, it is mostly Afro-Russians, and it's only 0.03% of our population. I've never seen a black person growing up in Russia. The first time I did is when I went to UK and I was 17 years old. And historical reason for that in 1842 our Emperor Nicholas I banned human of Africans and stated that slaves who will arrive in Russia would be set free, and people who broke the law would be put on trial and punished. So black people in Russia is more something of wonder, curiosity, something, exotic from overseas. Going back to Afro-Russians, those are people of African descent who migrated and settled in Russia, and it's usually multi-generational. We usually get many students from Africa who come to a big cities, usually Moscow or St. Petersburg, to study medicine. Many of them settle in Russia, many of them marry Russian women or men, have kids, and that's how we have black Russians. But I'm telling you, the majority of Russians, especially in the smaller towns, have never ever seen a black person in their life. So if you're black, please don't be scared to come to Russia. Nobody going to beat you up, nothing negative going to happen. People will be just curious. They will try to talk to you, maybe take pictures with you, but that's okay. You will be very exotic person over there.
The things we keep learning. 2024, I told you, does not disappoint. I knew Russia wasn't involved in the slave trade, but I actually just learned that probably at the end of last year. And it was so interesting, I started to read more. And then this year, Russia put out pictures of black deities. And it's funny because most black people was just like, why they trying to do that? They trying to show you that this is why they ain't never enslaved us. They didn't get involved because they like, oh, hell no. We is not going to get the same goddamn karma America's getting because we don't want to be involved in that. You can say what you want about us, but we ain't involved in we was never involved in the slave trade. America, you lying ass bitch.
big difference because absolutely new control, absolutely new flight-by-wire. Of course, nozzle control system is new too. Super Cobra, it's Cobra together with control. In all position I can stop this Cobra. I can make Cobra through 360 degrees. Okay, we have a button on the stick. If I not push this button, control is normal. Or if I push this button, I can cross limited angle of attack and G. When I making 360 degrees Cobra, I pushing this button and move stick. It's first prototype plane with nozzle control. Of course, if when we will have good potential of this system, we use on all plane support. It's a serial engine and only new nozzle control. This same engine we can set all Sukhoi plane on Sukhoi 27 too.
And perhaps on Eurofighter?
Yes, of course, why not?